Hi, my name is Hannah Harrod, and for this pitch video, I decided to choose the Grand Challenge for Social Work for Ensuring Healthy Development in All Youth. So I think that this Grand Challenge is mainly focused on ensuring the mental health and the safety of all youth. So I thought this was an appropriate topic for us to focus on this semester because it really helps communities decide, assess their youth and see what kind of needs they need, and it also helps them use their resources to the best of their ability and see what new resources they need and how they can better their youth. So I also thought it's important for a community to monitor and decrease the amount of intervention they do for youth. And by focusing on this Grand Challenge, they can make sure that the interventions that they're doing for youth are effective and can be to a wide variety of traumas, as many youth can go through a lot of different traumas, and I think that the interventions can vary for the different traumas. And so I think that focusing on this Grand Challenge and learning more about the interventions that are specific to youth and the traumas they have is really important. From my research, I learned that a lot of traumas that youth can have in young life if they're not taken care of, they can transfer to their adult life. And so from researching a website called Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, they reported that more than 2/3 of children report at least one traumatic before they're 16 years of age. And I thought this was really significant that a lot of youth do go through this where they have trauma and at a very young age. So if we don't have these interventions in place and we aren't aware of this problem, it can lead to the later life. We also found out that locally in Kentucky, 1 out of 7 Kentucky high school students have considered taking their own life. And this is a very significant problem, and a lot of that could be another trauma that youth go through, is considering suicide or self-harming because of traumas they've experienced. So I think it's really important that we focus on this Grand Challenge so that we can have the interventions in place and prevent those kinds of incidents. So some ideas that I have that our classmates can contribute to this learning process is by advocating. So if they see a youth or have a peer that they can see is struggling in some way, they can advocate for public awareness of intervention. So they can advocate that one of their friends seek counseling, or if they're working in the field of social work in any way, they can encourage counseling for interventions. Another way that I thought classmates could use this learning is developing strategies to train practitioners to prepare them for these roles of intervention. So if we learn about these things now, we can use them in our social work career later in life, as a lot of people, social workers, work with youth and that have had traumatic experiences. And so if we learn these things and these interventions and how significant this problem is, we can make sure that we ensure the health and the safety of youth in the future. So this topic on a micro and macro level. So in micro, this is important so that schools can implement interventions for ensuring youth safety. So schools could train their staff on the importance of being aware of symptoms of different mental health problems or safety problems in the classroom or in school buildings. So they can also do workshops where they can learn more about these things, as well as the symptoms, as encouraging someone to seek help. And then they can have people in the school, like social workers or counselors, that are trained on assessing trauma and advocating for a student that is endured trauma. So at the macro level, social works in the social work practice, this is important because of public awareness. So if we can spread this, that youth really struggle in a lot of different ways, and that we need to be advocating for being sensitive to those traumas and to making sure that all youth is safe, we can really spread awareness in that way. So we also want to implement tools in communities to prioritize and protect factors of youth, so we can protect them in different ways. We can ensure that youth are being safe. So personally, I picked this grand challenge of social work because I felt like it's what I'm most passionate about. I've always wanted to work with children and with youth, and I feel like it's really important because of when things happen in early life and when a child is still developing or youth is still developing, those things can affect their future. And so I feel like if we focus on this grand challenge and how we can intervene with those things, it will really impact the future of our society, because it is how people grow up and the way that they're developing. So I really felt this challenge resonated with me because I am passionate about this part of social work, and I think it's very appropriate that we learn about this semester, because I feel like a lot of people are working with children or in the youth through middle schools or through different school districts for the practicums. So I think it's very important that we learn about this grand challenge.